Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and what a wild ride things have been as of late. Look, I want to state at the outset here, I fully recognize that there is more sell side pressure than buying pressure, right? I understand people have been jumping out of XRP, even though perhaps it could be the case that we're somewhere nearing a pretty strong level of support, at least as one analyst will show in this video would certainly have you believe. But even so, I found something rather surprising, and I haven't seen anybody else talk about it, but it's an XRP metric that I found on XRP scan. And essentially what it's showing is an uptick in XRP account activations despite all of this news, which is fascinating for a number of reasons. And I want to talk about it because one of the things that to me is just inevitably true is, I've talked about this, people in terms of buying and selling, they FOMO in, they'll chase green candles, and then they panic sell. Like lemmings off a cliff. And so I refuse to do that. I'm still trying to decide exactly what cryptos I want to get into because I pretty well have decided I do want to diversify further. I think that makes sense. And given that I personally believe that we're on the cusp of a major bull run for altcoins, just in general, I want to make sure that I get more exposure to that than I have. I've been stocking up on XRP for years. I have paused my XRP purchasing. If things get low enough, I actually will purchase more. And to be perfectly honest with you, I'm happy to share this before getting into the content. We actually did hit a level that I considered to be a final stretch goal that I thought I'd never, in all likelihood, not see again, which we wouldn't without this lawsuit and resulting in the tanking of the XRP price. But I thought it was long gone, and I thought, well, okay, my final stretch goal didn't hit it. I had an opportunity today, and I have decided against it. I'm holding all of my XRP, though. I have not sold one XRP ever. And I just thought, in light of what's happening, it's not going to shake me out of my position, period. I'm firm on that. I'm not going to do that. But I did start thinking, well, if I don't start putting more money, because I do have a pile of cash in the bank, I'm like, if I don't start putting this to work in what the condition the market's in now before things really start taking off, I could really regret it. And so I think I just feel safer diversifying further, but I'm not going to pull it out of XRP. Absolutely not. That said, if XRP does go substantially lower, I have a couple numbers in mind. If it does, I'm thinking I very well actually may throw in a bit more money. I'm not quite sure how much yet, but if it becomes that tempting, yes. But just in light of what's happening with the litigation, I think I just feel better kind of diversifying further personally. And to be clear, I don't have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and so you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say are right. I just think it's fun to talk about these topics as an enthusiast and make YouTube videos as a hobby. That is all that it is, just to be super duper clear here. So let's take a look here. So as I record this, there are 2,318,686 XRP accounts in existence. That is the latest number. And here's this is xrpscan.com. If you go to xrpscan.com/metrics, you can look at this for your very own self here. And what this shows, what I have on the screen right here, is number of new accounts activated, and it's showing for the last year currently. So you can see like there are little spikes here and there, but around like January, it seemed pretty normal to be, account creation anywhere like 400 to 500 new accounts per day. Here's 390 on January 25th. And then, not surprisingly, as things really heated up in the market in November, you saw a peak in one day. 8,068 new XRP accounts were created as people were FOMOing in. They were chasing green candles, which is something that I do not do. I refuse to do that. I also will not panic sell. When things are the scariest, that's when it's most appealing to me. And so, and that's not in contradiction to what I've said having to do with XRP. For me at this point, the reason I'm not purchasing more is because it's purely diversification. But I firmly believe that Ripple will be vindicated, or there could be settlement, and XRP will indeed be found to not be a security. And I don't have a law background, so I'm just sharing with you my everyday Joe Schmo opinion, but there are a number of reasons I'm not going to get through in this video. I've already talked about recently as to why I believe that. So anyway, look at this. Like I was saying, earlier in the year, hundreds of accounts being created. Things got a little bit nuts ever since, let's just say about midway through November of this year. But here's where things get even more interesting. This was surprising. I was curious. So I was like, with all of the panic and people, the sell pressure, it's tremendous. It has been for basically the past week, ever since this news of the impending lawsuit hit. And so I was wondering, okay, well, I see that the price of XRP is crashing, but what is happening in terms of XRP account creation? And this was surprising to me. I haven't seen anybody else talk about this, and so I'd love for the rest of the XRP community watching to drop a comment below after you watch this video and let me know what you think is going on here. Is there an angle that I haven't considered? Because I'll tell you, just look right here. So here's... here's December 15th, for example. There was still more, it's an elevated, sense of interest around XRP. I don't know what the price was exactly on December 15th, but it was probably somewhere in, the 60-cent range, I'm guessing, something like that. It was up, whatever it was. And so you still had a good amount of interest. 2,010 new accounts created on December 15th this year, right? And so this chart, I should have said this too. This chart is showing the last half of December, from December 15th to through December 29th. As I record this, it's December 29th. Looking at my phone here, it's 9:04 p.m. and I'm in the Midwest of the United States. So this number is going to keep climbing, presumably, depending on the time zone that it's looking at. I don't know if it's tracking this to mine or whatever. Probably not. But anyway, what I saw, though, is when you get to when the news hit, what would that have been? Was it the 21st or the 22nd? Well, this is, by the way, this is before exchanges announced that they were delisting XRP. We just knew that the SEC was coming after Ripple. Look at how you start to see an uptick. Look on December 22nd, 2,783 accounts activated. And I'm going to make a broader point on this, but let me just share the information first. Then Wednesday, look at it. Things getting super scary here. I'm sure the price was dropping around this point. 4,140 account activations. Then the 24th, 3,958. And I'm not going to read every single day. You get the idea, but tons and tons of accounts being created. And culminating in what we have today at 5,757 accounts created so far, and the day's not over yet. So what the hell is going on? This is supposed to be a super, super scary time. And so I tweeted this out yesterday, and we've got more interesting numbers now because I didn't even know that the numbers were going to keep going up after I posted this, but I just wanted to share this. So I shared a little screen grab of what I just showed you on the screen there in this video. And I wrote, last half of December XRP account activations. Notable increase. Why? Is it that people are fleeing exchanges and parking in their own cold storage? Okay, cool then. So long-term hodling, question mark? If not, then why the increase? Thoughtful minds engage. And then I wrote, to be clear, if it is indeed the case that all these accounts were created by XRP holders to get off exchanges and put holdings into cold storage, that means a lot of people / institutions / whatever are long. I want to hear opinions on this. These are just first impressions. And so what I found, remember what I've cited a couple times in this video already, is that basically whatever the direction is of what people are doing, just in a general sense, it's my humble opinion to just do the opposite. I don't chase green candles. I don't panic sell. I refuse to do it. I'm just not going to do it. That's not me. Never has been. It's never going to be. And so I'm sitting here thinking there's a certain number of people, it'll be a smaller percentage of humans out there that are aware of how stupid it is to panic sell and how stupid it is to FOMO in. But most people don't do that. Most humans are just going to behave like the typical human. So the humans that don't, those are the outliers. And data shows that those are the humans that typically perform better in markets, not just crypto, but the stock market as well. And so while admittedly there are more people selling, and I get that, there are a ton of people right here. And I think personally, this is an indication that there are some people that are long. And wait till I share with you some information in my very next video, because there's a very well-known figure in the world of crypto, multi-millionaire, who thinks that XRP could still increase 50-fold. It's too much for one video, so I'm not going to get into it, but it will be my very next video. It's super interesting to articulate why he thinks it's possible. But keeping on track here, I got to share my third tweet too. I wrote, if these accounts were not created for long-term holding, then who are these new XRP purchasers choosing to jump in? These are, relatively speaking, big numbers in terms of new XRP account activations. Yeah, exactly. And it's happening during the peak scary time. So is it people that are jumping off exchanges? Well, I don't think that many people would put their XRP in cold storage, because first of all, if you're talking about like an exchange like Coinbase, you actually still can custody it there. You're just not going to be able to trade it after late January, but you can still hold it there. So I don't think that should be some sort of catalyst to get it off exchange. So it's like, who is it that's doing this? You know, that's why I just suspect that people see blood in the streets and they're like, holy hell, XRP actually went back down, and they're seeing it as an opportunity, especially because a lot of people in crypto, like, they are new to the space. And when they see, there are a certain percentage of people that see this. But I mean, you're talking about, gosh, tens of thousands of people just jumping in relatively short order during the scariest time ever for XRP, and just buying it. And, given that these are accounts, so like, these would not be exchange accounts, right? Because exchange accounts are typically shared, almost all of them are. And so that would just count as one account. These are individuals or institutions that are creating these accounts and choosing to hold long despite the scary action, which I just find endlessly fascinating. So if I'm missing something, because I don't pretend to know everything, I just found this genuinely interesting and just an indication that there are people out there that are going against the grain. And that's what I do too. When it comes to buying and selling, I go against the grain, because I think that everybody else, that, humans behaving the way most humans do, that's why I joke sometimes, not to be mean, but I just kind of joke that they're useful idiots, because they do they do create the volatility that we need for prices to ultimately trend upwards. And so that there's true usefulness to these idiots. But I'm just joking a little, but I do mean it's genuinely useful though. But I'm just not going to participate in that behavior myself, but I'm glad that they do. I just observe that they do, and then act differently, basically. So anyway, I just thought that this was an indication that there are some people out there that are going against the grain. And I get it, like, things are scary. And so there's this idea that because of what's happening here, that XRP could go to zero, this or that. I'm not convinced of that. I don't know for sure how this is all going to pan out, but even if XRP were declared a security, I'm still not even convinced that would ruin Ripple's business model. Like, what if Ripple was a publicly traded company? Like, what would that look like? What if XRP was a security in the United States of a publicly traded company? Like, is the business model still wrecked? I'm not convinced of that, And so with all of this happening, I don't pretend to know how it's going to pan out, and I do want to get more opinions from people from a legal perspective, because I don't have that type of background. But from everything that I'm seeing to this point, and I'm happy to share everything that I do know, I think it's much more likely than not that this will get settled, or that we'll go to court, and Ripple will go to court rather, and probably be victorious. And then ultimately the markets will see that, and then it will rise. So that's why I'm saying, like, even though I chose not to purchase what was my final stretch goal when I had the opportunity, and I still have the opportunity this second, I just want to diversify more. I'll just feel safer. I've been thinking about it, especially in light of what's happening here. But even so, like I said, if it gets that much lower, and I don't know, if it actually got down, I'm not saying this is going to happen, I don't want to scare anybody, but like, if it did get down to 5 or 10 cents, that would be appealing to me. Like, that would start to be like, okay, I don't think I can pass it up. And so I feel like at that point I'd have to, or else I'd be kicking myself after this, because whatever I put in, holy hell, like the return on that, if you're talking about, what if it were at 5 or 10 cents and then it got back to its all-time high? Because look, the price action now is not indicative of what's going to happen when everything plays out in court. And so I think that most people, they're like I said, they're just emotionally buying and selling, maybe not putting the pieces together, that you're just following someone else off a cliff. And maybe you're right and this all goes to zero, but I'm just not convinced of that. And so for me, I'm just going to continue to hold. That's it. That's what I've decided is the best for Moon Lambo. Here's what chart analyst Magic had to say. He wrote, top reasons why XRP isn't a security. Number 1. XRP was created before Ripple was founded. 2. Owning XRP doesn't provide shareholder interest in Ripple. 3. XRP can exist independently of Ripple. 4. XRP cannot be defined as a security based on the 4 metrics of the Howey test. Yeah, and so point number 3 here, as far as XRP can exist independently of Ripple, that actually has to do specifically with the Howey test, and I think it was like the third prong of the 4 prongs, if you want to word it like that, having to do with something about common enterprise. I covered it in a video, but it's not exclusively Ripple in control here. And so I thought those were good points and just wanted to share them with you, but it doesn't pass the test. And with the Howey test, my understanding is that you have to satisfy all 4 prongs. So even if you could satisfy 3 of them, if there's no common enterprise, then it's not satisfied, and XRP cannot be a security. And so, I mean, unless they want to manipulate the law as it's written, state that it's supposed to be so flexible that we can now say it encompasses this, but that would be disingenuous and disgusting to me. So let's hope something like that doesn't happen. Here's another tweet from Magic. In my opinion, this sell-off in XRP at the beginning of a bull market is possibly the greatest opportunity in crypto history. I'm accumulating as much as possible while prices are low because I believe that there is a very bright future for Ripple and XRP. Well, here, my friend, I happen to share your mindset. Here's a tweet from chart analyst Credible Crypto. He just wrote 100, a bunch of those emoji 100. You can see what they look like. It's on the screen now. It doesn't really matter. Don't feel like you have to look at the screen now. But anyway, it was in response to something from Crypto Stickers on Twitter, who wrote, "You laughed at everyone who declared Bitcoin dead. Now you declare XRP dead? How many times did you get the message China is banning Bitcoin and the price plummeted? I'm not an XRP maxi, I hold other coins, but I recognize an opportunity and try to use it to my best advantage." Couldn't agree more. Here's a tweet from Anzetcio, who is asking chart analyst Credible Crypto a question. Wrote, "From the uncertainty and negative news keep coming out, who is going to buy it?" Referencing XRP, of course. "If nobody buy it, how the price can rise? Thanks for your response." And that was, I read it just as it was written, just to be clear. It's not me like talking like an idiot or something. Not that this person's an idiot. I'm just saying. It's probably just broken English. It's fine. Anyway, Credible Crypto responded, "So this is a supply/demand game, right? If no one was buying it, price would be at 0 right now. Keep in mind, our bear market low was at 12 cents. So even with all the news, there is still more demand right now than there was then." Exactly. And so we don't know how low this is going to go. As I record this, it's hovering around 20 cents. Even if it does, though, I'm just going to share with you, like, for me, it's not going to hit me emotionally. I'm not going to freak out. I'm not going to change my behavior. I don't care how low it goes. And I do quite literally mean that. And I'm going to flesh this concept out further in my very next video, so I won't go into it further here, but I'm happy to share even in this video. It's not something that is going to scare me. If anything, it's going to make me want to go against the grain and purchase finally. More specifically. Here's a tweet from XRP chart analyst, my fellow XRP YouTuber, Blockchain Backer. Check this out. "Fear and panic is at the absolute worst. Right or wrong, I just added at 17.8 cents. See, now he shares the same mindset that I've shared on my channel the whole time I've been running the damn thing, which is a little over 2 years. Just this idea of going against the grain, not foaming in, not panic selling, which is not financial advice. I'm just sharing with you what I believe and how I behave. Now, as far as XRP, I've just been dollar cost averaging in, other than a few larger purchases. When was that? I can't even remember now if it was like September or somewhere thereabout. I did make some larger purchases because I was finally like, okay, I don't know when XRP is going to go off, but I just finally was like, I want more exposure. So I just finally did. But other than that, I had been dollar cost averaging in for years, quite literally. All right. Here's a tweet from DIY Investing. XRP. Bullish divergence forming on the 4-hour, 8-hour, 12-hour, and daily timeframes. I know there's been a lot of fear thrown around on crypto Twitter with everyone saying this is going to 0, but I am not buying it. Expecting a bounce here. Ignore the FUD. Remember, winky face. Then we got this. Leb Crypto, a chart analyst, wrote, here we go. Pump on the Ripple statement. Just a wee relief rally. He's referencing, I covered it in a video already. Ripple coming out and saying, hey, we're going to fight this lawsuit, that type of thing. So there was a bit of a bounce. And so somebody named Yes and M wrote, there is strong support at 17 cents, ? And Love Crypto wrote, decent one, yes, much stronger than the 10 to 11 cents support anyway. Now, then there was this article. I'm going to wrap up the video in just a moment, but I want to cite this first. There's a scary sounding headline from News BTC. Coinbase delisting sparks XRP plunge. Analyst forecast decline to 10 cents. And that analyst is Pentoshi. He wrote, XRP, in my opinion, the dust will settle in the next few weeks/months somewhere in between 7 to 12 cents. Liquidity will dry up. On-demand liquidity can't be used on Bitstamp. More exchanges will halt trading. Larger players will continue to de-risk and get rid of excess inventory, just the way I see it. And so I know that sounds scary. But to me, if that does happen, if it really happens, I think that would be such an attractive level that even me, who is like, okay, my bags are packed, I think I'd have to back up the truck and just like go on a shopping spree. Like, come on, just open, open the gate in the back, whatever, I got a dock high truck, just right, push it on in, right? And so I think I'd have to. I really do. I'll let you know if I do or don't, but I feel pretty confident at this point that if it actually got to that level, I'd have to. Because again, I'm just going to go against the grain. I'm not going to follow what everybody else is doing because I've seen enough data in the stock market and in crypto to indicate what the typical person is doing is wrong and stupid. And so I'm just going to not do that. Now, also, again, in my next video, I encourage you to check it out. I'm going to be recording it immediately after this one and uploading it as soon as it's available, but it's going to have to do with this multi-millionaire who is very famous in the world of crypto saying, hey, I'm looking at XRP specifically and calling for a potential 50-fold increase. And it'll be appealing to him if it gets to this type of level. So I know this might scare people if you're talking about 7 to 12 cents. It doesn't scare me, and it doesn't scare this multimillionaire. But I'll share with you the specifics in the next video. Thank you very much for stopping by. I very much appreciate the support. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.